All right, guys, we're coming up on 2 o'clock here, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. So hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Tiara Steffen, and I am the product marketing coordinator here on the QGIF team. We've got Justin Cook here, our director of demand generation, who's going to be taking us through the auction tools that can help you raise more and increase your supporter engagement during your next auction event. So a few housekeeping notes before we get started. We are recording the webinar, so everyone will receive an email tomorrow afternoon with a link to the session, a link to the slides, and as well as some additional resources. Please feel free to use the chat for any general discussion with your fellow fundraisers on the webinar, with us. If you have any questions, we'd love to hear them. You can add those into the Q&A tab in the chat, and we'll answer them at the end of the webinar. If you're having trouble with the Q&A tab, no worries. Just drop those questions in the chat and we'll keep track of them and answer them at the end as well. And if you use social media, please feel free to share any highlights or your favorite takeaways from the webinar and give us a follow. And now I'll give it over to Justin so he can tell you a little bit about himself and get this webinar started.
Thank you, Tiara. Again, my name is Justin Cook. I am the Director of Demand Generation here at QGIF. And I've been with QGIF for over 5 years now, which time really flies by when you're having fun, and a marketing professional for over 7. My areas of expertise is in optimizing the user journey, which is just basically a fancy way of saying that I try to make your life as easy as possible when you're looking for fundraising resources or trying to learn more about QGIF's fundraising tools when you're looking at our website online. So today we're going to be talking about everything auctions. So specifically talking about auction tools that you can utilize to help you raise more at your event. And some common challenges that you often run into, there's a ton, right? There are a lot of things to think about when you are going to host an auction, and you really do need to be prepared when you're going in. From trying to reach a registration in your sponsorship goals, managing all of the on-site logistics, and trying to herd the cats, as we like to talk about, engaging your bidders and getting all of them, all of your auction items auctioned off. How you can take digital payments or record cash or check transactions at your event, capturing donations during your live paddle raise, and then when you do get to the checkout phase, how are you securing those payments and how are you distributing those different auction items? So all of these things here that are listed will ultimately influence how much you raise for your organization. And overcoming these challenges will help you to raise more. And in each of the challenges that you see here on the screen, there are tools to help you make your process easier as well as help you raise more. And so the first set of tools that I really want to discuss, which is one of the most important pieces of your auction, are bidder engagement tools. So think to yourself, how are you engaging bidders? What are the tools that you can offer to not only help them bid on items, but to make purchases on site at your auction? What about tools that help your guests that are on site donate to your organization? What are some ways that you can encourage that on site and make it as easy as possible, not only for your guests to participate, but also for you to record and reconcile later on for your auction? And one of the first things that I think I want to call out for sure is outbid notifications. And outbid notifications are so crucial when you are utilizing technology, because without technology, your donors have to go back and forth between your silent auction tables to see if they've been outbid. And during that process, when they're checking on their bids, they may get caught up in a conversation, be stuck at the line at the bar, or even at the dessert table. So with outbid notifications, your donors instantly know when they've been outbid, and then they can hop back into the app to place another bid. Not only does this improve the guest experience, because all they have to do is hold it in the palm of their hand and manage their entire auction within the app itself, but it can result in more back and forth bidding on your items, which obviously raises the total bid amount and what the winning bid will be, which ultimately comes back to more revenue for your organization. And when you use outbid notifications, the reason why this is so great is because it creates a competitive bidding environment. And through those, you can really keep your distracted guests, no matter what they're doing, focused on the competitive nature and winning that item. One of the great things that I love about outbid notifications are the automated alerts of what happens. So, for example, if I bid on this art cruise, you can see that not only is there a call out on that item specifically that I'm outbid, I will also receive a push notification through the app or in other various ways, because we do offer email and text notifications as well, or whatever fundraising tools that you utilize, looking at the different ways that your bidders can receive those notifications. And then it all encourages them to hop back in and continue bidding on that item. Additionally, you can also look for something that's called a max bid. And basically what max bid does is that a bidder can look at an item, they can set that, this item is valued at 500, then the most that I want to bid on for this item is 500. And so when they are outbid, based on the bid increments that you have, it will automatically increase that bid on behalf of the bidder. So this continues to create a very competitive bidding environment. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's going to help you raise more money because your guests are engaged and really competing for that one auction item that they really want. And that's what you want to do. You want to create a competitive environment in which they're all fighting to get that winning bid, right? And then speaking of encouraging more bidding activity, there are a ton of video tools that you can utilize. And video tools are great because it helps you build an experience around high value auction items. And ultimately, what the video tools do is they encourage guest participation. And the reason why this works is when you are building around that experience, it puts your bidders into the shoes of the person that would win this item. They can almost experience what's going on with winning that item sitting right there at your auction. So video tools, very impactful way. Additionally, you can use these videos to raise awareness for your mission as well. So you want to be vocal. You don't want to be afraid to be vocal. Be vocal about where money is going when you are utilizing these different types of videos, whether it's for your auction items or if you're going to have a donation portion where you can capture their attention and you can have a storytelling piece there. So it's especially helpful, these video tools, with a live auction portion. If you're going to host this, they're really, really great for high value auction items. But if you're going to host a live auction portion, these can be especially helpful because those live auction items are generally some of your higher value and you want more engagement right then and there. And these videos can certainly help with that since you are able to really capture their attention in the moment and get them to experience what the auction item has to offer. You can additionally as well, when using these types of videos, use them in all of your general promotional strategy that you have going on. Everything that you're looking to do to promote your auction event and get more registrants to attend and to start bidding, videos are a great way. And something that we've actually seen other organizations do is add it in their announcement emails. So including a key item that they want to highlight. And we also see them post what we call an item of the day. So being able to highlight some of the cool auction items that you're going to have, and that creates the experience with your guests and gets them encouraged to join and be a part of your auction. And while video can be utilized for all items, that takes time. So I certainly recommend that you use this to highlight those high value auction items, things like vacations and trips, and even sports memorabilia can be used here as well. Now you may be asking, what video tools are available to help me do this? And I don't really have the time to invest in creating a video. And my first answer is Canva. Canva is a great video editing tool. You can use it for anything really, from your creating images for your auction items, for your announcements, to also using it as a video editing tool as well. And then in terms of not having enough time, you certainly have, or someone in your staff has a phone that has a decent camera, and that's all that you need. Really, you're just looking to be able to record that video and showcase what you have. So you can even do this with a basic iPhone in the Canva tools. Canva also, mind you, is also free for nonprofits as well. So it's something also to take in. You don't have to add in additional costs to your auction event should you use it. And then one more way that you can look to engage your bidders throughout is sending out communications. And communicating with your guests will certainly help you raise more money. And these messaging tools can be utilized both before, during, and after your event. So talking about raising more money at your auction event specifically, these are really great tools to keep your guests engaged and they can understand different major points throughout your event. So there's a lot of different ways that you can utilize it. And one of the best ways is to look at what the run of your event is. So what's your schedule like? And then what are some major plot points throughout your event that you have specifically that you can alert guests to? So for example, any upcoming activities like a live auction that we were talking about earlier, or even a paddle raise, right? So things that you can utilize to alert guests to very quickly and get them to get more guests to participate. Additionally, encouraging your guests to participate in any revenue enhancing games that you have. We'll dive in a little bit more into revenue enhancing games, but just drawing general awareness to your guests that those games are available is certainly a great way to do this. And one of my favorite ways, because this is one way that often gets overlooked, is highlighting auction items that don't have any bids. I don't know how many organizations that we've seen that they're getting to the end of the night and they have an auction item that has no bids on it. And they just decided that they're going to just take it home, right? They're going to take it back to the organization. We'll try again next year. Messaging tools can help you actually auction it off at that time. Depending on how many auction items you have, it can be hard that people don't see all that's available. So I encourage you looking at some messaging tools that you can utilize, whether it's text, email, or social media, or a combination of all three, to highlight those auction items that have no bids on them. And I think one of the best use cases as well, additionally, is you can actually pre-schedule messages to drive awareness. So when you're on site and you're trying to manage all of the different activities that are going on, you certainly don't want to sit down and have to type out a message and then send that to all of your guests at your auction event. So looking at what the run of your show is to pre-schedule those specific messages is going to save you a lot of time on site and continue to build engagement within your auction event. Now, next, we're talking about bidder engagement. Now, what are some on-site tools? What are some things that you can utilize to help manage all of the processes that you have on site? And you may be wondering, how are different tools that I can utilize to manage my auction event going to help me raise more money? And I'm going to tell you, because one of the best tools that you can utilize at your auction is a virtual terminal. A virtual terminal is something that you, your staff, and your volunteers can utilize to manage your entire auction event. It is a multi-tool for all of the things that you're looking to do. It's a point of sale. So selling drinks, selling food, selling raffle tickets, things like that. It's a great point of sale. If someone comes to your check-in and they haven't registered yet, you can handle all of those last-minute registrations right then and there with a virtual terminal. Managing check-in and check-out as well. Placing bids on behalf of your guests. And being able to record offline transactions. So if someone gives you a check during the event itself and you want to make sure that you get that recorded so that you can thank them later. Or if someone gives you cash as well. A virtual terminal is so helpful because you can see that this is something where you can continue to provide happiness to your guests through what we call micro moments. And essentially, what a micro moment is a chance for your organization to enhance the experience just a little bit throughout your event and give those guests a positive impression. And all of these eventually add up to someone that is willing to engage more and give to your organization. Operations may not be the 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 thing that you think about that's going to raise you a lot of money, but if you get these different types of things right, and you are able to continue to provide a positive experience, even if one or two things go wrong, overall you're going to please your guests, and that means that you're going to raise more money for your auction. One of the great things that we utilize here at QGIve, so we do have a virtual terminal ourselves, and we have two versions of it for you. So we have a virtual terminal through any laptop device, and that's available through the web. And we also offer a mobile app. So I want to start quickly with the laptop version. The laptop version is really great for just general management and working the check-in and check-out of getting guests in and getting them out of your auction event. Now, the mobile app, this is where you can really utilize to provide those little extra experiences throughout the event. Like I was saying, those micro moments. It's something that we often see is when your check-in is getting backed up, someone will just pull up the mobile app. They'll start working the line, getting through the back, helping to keep getting your guests check in, even though they're not first in line. So a mobile app is a great way to just get out of behind the desk and start doing it and start really like engaging with guests. Additionally, mobile apps are great for managing any of your games or your purchases. And it's even a really great way to do that bid management. If someone is having trouble bidding at your auction, or they just don't want to download another app and you want to help them to still engage with the auction, the mobile app version that we have for our virtual terminal is a great way to provide a certain VIP experience. If you have any major donors that are attending and you really want to up the experience that they have through the VIP experience, having a volunteer just hop into the app itself and follow those major donors around. And then they can just tell them what they want to bid on. And the volunteer can do it all through the app for them. Really, really great way. Additionally, another great way to raise more money on site is through an auction store. So I was mentioning a bit earlier about that bidder engagement and being able to engage all of your guests. So with QGIve, our specific app, our specific platform that we have to help manage all of this for the guests is called Givey. And so what Givey does is it combines all of the store, your fund and need items, and your bidding so that your guests can manage their entire auction through the app. They can even log in to a web version as well and do the same thing. And when you're thinking about an auction store, they are so great for those revenue enhancing items. And guests can just quickly add it to their tab. And when they go to checkout, they can just pay for it all at once. So think about things that you can add to add value to your guests, such as merchandise. T-shirts are a great way. You can do bags. Really, it's anything that you're looking to do, any type of merchandise that you're looking to sell. This can include raffle ticket items as well. And then coming back to those engagement games, right? Those revenue enhancing games that we're going to have on site. You can do all of this through the store as well. Being able to sell those raffle tickets or chance drawing tickets. If you're having a wine pool or you have a gift card wall, any type of game that you're going to look to engage with, everything can be managed within that auction store that's through Givey. If you're using other fundraising tools, just check to see what they have, what they can help you with that on that side, because these are great ways to help you raise more. And obviously event-specific items such as drinks and food as well. And then another really great way to engage your guests, not only on site, but virtually as well. To encourage that participation for everyone is using text fundraising. The reason why text fundraising is so powerful is because it's a very quick and easy way for guests to donate. And when you're at your auction specifically, you can pull up something that we call a live screencast and put a fundraising thermometer on there to encourage pledges and donations. So all you have to do is pull up your keyword, live screencast, and when you have your guests engaged and they are captured by what your mission accomplishes, when they are inspired, that's when you pull up the text fundraising keyword and ask them to donate. And that's why text fundraising is so powerful. When they're inspired, they can give and they can give quickly. And then they can see what the influence they have on your fundraising thermometer. This is also a really great way for virtual events and for getting virtual attendees to participate so that they can see their donation is going towards your event as well. Another item to add here is using fund and need items with that live screencast so guests can visualize their goal. So you can use text fundraising to do this, but in the app itself, you can even add fund and need items that act as donations to your organization. We often see organizations like Junior Achievement where they add specific services that they have to teach their kids that are within the organization itself. They add those as specific items within the app itself, and they can just quickly add that item, and that will donate to your organization. And I just wanted to show really quickly what that can also look like when you are pulling this up. You can have both a live screencast that is what we call a fund hub that collectively is able to bring in all of the different funding sources that you have. And it's almost real time. It's not real time, but it will refresh where the live screencast that you see on the right, where that's the thermometer, that's where you can pull up your text to donate keyword, and you can really see that donor activity as well there in the shout outs as well to help you raise more money at your auction event. And then the last thing for auction events that I really want to go into are sponsorship tools. Now, sponsors are a huge driver of revenue for auction events, so we can't move on to anything else without talking about how you can utilize tools to not only engage your sponsors, but to give them more placements throughout your auction event. And this makes it both easy for you to add any sponsorship information that you have available and help you spread the word about what sponsors can accomplish with you. But it's also, these sponsorship tools are also a great place to provide extra value. And you can utilize a sponsorship packet in order to showcase these things. And now, again, I know that you're saying, how is the sponsorship packet going to help me? And how are tools specifically going to help me to raise more for my auction event? And sponsorship tools and fundraising tools, when they come together, basically what you're able to do is showcase what is available for your organization and then continue to drive additional value to your sponsors with those fundraising tools. I'll go into a couple of specifics here in a moment, but utilize your sponsorship packet and your fundraising tools in order to showcase why sponsors should be donating to your organization. It's also a great way if someone doesn't have the funds to donate to your organization as a sponsor. They can even offer any in-kind services and goods for that exchange of visibility at your auction. I'm not going to dive into everything about the sponsorship packet today, but I did want to call this out because it is a great way to drive those sponsorships and to help you to secure more and help you provide more value to your sponsors. So let's talk about a couple of tools that are available to help you drive more sponsors. And the first one are adding sponsors on your event page. So when you sign up to use auction tools, you need to think of the different ways that you can provide visibility to all of the sponsors that are giving to your organization. And one of the first examples that I have here is building a dedicated sponsor page for your auction. Who's supporting you? Do you have different levels of how they're supporting you? So creating that specific sponsorship page will help you to provide extra value to your sponsors. And then additionally, looking at what we call a sponsor gallery. So you can create this type of widget and you can add it to any of your auction event pages that you have online, or using a sponsor slideshow, which will automatically rotate between all of the sponsors that you've added to that. And then you can add that to any page that you have, including that live screencast. So when you're on site, you have everyone's attention captured. You can add it right there so that everyone sees who the sponsors are of your organization and your auction event. You can also utilize sponsor callouts. So going back to those notifications that we were talking about earlier, being able to send out scheduled notifications. Think about how your auction tools can help you highlight your sponsors as well. For example, here you can see in a push notification that we're thanking our sponsor QGIve for helping us create an unforgettable auction event this year. You can also do this through text message as well as the email fundraising tool, the email tools that you utilize as well. So these are another great way for you to offer that extra benefit to all of your sponsors. And then finally, thinking through how you can continue that conversation once your auction is completed. So obviously sending out your registrant thank you emails and your receipts. Where can you add sponsor logos? Where can you add to keep telling that story, to add that additional value, not only before and during through your announcement emails that you have, but obviously afterwards as well. And just make sure that you're keeping a checklist of all these items so that you can get them all scheduled out and that you can give your sponsors the appropriate visibility that they're expecting with by sponsoring your organization. You also see here a great example of a social media post as well that happened afterwards, where they just created a simple graphic and they added all of the logos of the sponsors. Another great use case for Canva in which you can utilize this. And one last way that your fundraising tools can help you to capture more of those sponsorships is by making that sponsorship purchase process easy. So not only will your tools be able to help you offer multiple ways to pay, from cash, check, credit card, and ACH, you'll also see digital wallets as well. So at QGIve, we also offer Apple Pay, PayPal, and Venmo as well for quick ways to make that purchasing process easy. Some of the digital wallets are not available specifically on the auction form, so we'll have to talk about that here in a minute as well. When you are creating your sponsorship for your registration form for online purchases, make sure to create a specific section for them. So you want to make sure that your registrants know exactly where they need to go, and you want to make sure that your sponsors know exactly where they need to go on your form as well. So creating a specific section, as you see here on the right, make it really easy for your sponsors to find quickly where they need to go. One of the other things that your sponsorship form can help you do is reiterate those benefits that you have for each sponsorship level. It's optimized for all devices, so no matter when your sponsors want to sign up for your sponsorship packet, they can. And it's a distraction-free form so that you can keep sponsors focused specifically on their purchase. And then the other part that I want to call out is being able to accept those payments in person. This is another use case for the virtual terminal app that we were discussing earlier. When you're having these one-to-one conversations face-to-face with your sponsors, how are you getting that sponsor to commit? And how do you make it as easy as possible for them? You can do cash or check, but another great way is to utilize that virtual terminal app, where all they have to do is enter a little bit of information and then the credit card number that they want to put on file, and all of that is contributed to your event. And finally, if you do accept those cash or check purchases, being able to wrap them into your CRM. And what this does, and something that I want to reiterate and why fundraising tools are so helpful, is that when you go to reconcile your event at the end of the night, you don't have to sit there till 2 a.m., 3 a.m., entering different purchases into an Excel spreadsheet. All you have to do after checkout, it's all compiled within the auction tools themselves. And so you can just go home. You're ready. You're done. You just have to do cleanup, and you don't have to sit there and do all of this manual entry because all of that is already entered and tracked within your fundraising tools. And then obviously, this helps you with the next step of the thank you process. When the auction event is done and you're ready to say, hey, I really appreciate you coming out and attending our auction, you can actually track all of these purchases back to that donor so that you can appropriately thank them for their contributions. And now I'm going to go ahead and pass it on back to Tiara.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Justin. And thank you to everyone for joining today. We're going to get to Q&A here in a moment, but first, for anybody who isn't already aware, earlier this month, QGive joined the Bloomerang team to offer a modern giving platform that puts relationships at the heart of fundraising. Our combined solution unifies your donors' activities, giving you the power to acquire new donors, cultivate impactful relationships, and maximize the potential of your donor communities. So if you're interested in learning more and you're a QGive customer, please feel free to email us at support@qgive.com with any questions you have about QGive's online fundraising tools or the Bloomerang acquisition, and we'll be happy to answer them. If you have our auctions package, our team is also happy to help you and your volunteers with training and additional support for any auction event you may have planned in the future. So please just reach out if you're interested in that. If you're not a QGive client and you're curious about using the QGive platform, it's super easy to request a demo. Just visit qgive.com/demo-request and fill out the form. And if you're looking for more best practices, just go ahead and visit qgive.com/blog and check out our collection of fundraising blogs and free resources. And now we can go ahead and move on to our Q&A. So we have quite a few questions that Heidi has been busy at work answering in the Q&A section, but we're going to ask a few of them live just so everybody can have the answer. So first from Vicky, Vicky asked, how do you spell Canva? And you do spell it C-A-N-V-A. You can create a free account to get started with all of your creative activities at canva.com. Next question, Jessica asked, do you know when the virtual terminal app will be available to help for peer-to-peer fundraising events?
I think Heidi jumped into there if you wanted to relay that.
Sure. So we just added the peer-to-peer QR code check-in, and we're hoping to get the peer-to-peer forms moved over to our newer version of our mobile app here shortly. We don't have a definitive date yet, but it's coming very soon.
Yeah, very exciting. I'm so happy to see that come in. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jessica asked, during the live screencast, does it display names of donors or just dollar amounts in movement on the thermometer?
Yep. So through the text to donate process, when they are typing in their keyword and the amount that they want to give, it can all display there as long as they add that information in. It's not a requirement. We know that some people want to donate without displaying their name. So if they do provide all that information, the name, their donation amount, it can all show and be displayed on the screen. But if someone doesn't want to add their name to it, they don't have to, and then it won't display.
And they can also add a message if you tell them that. Yeah. So good luck. We're rooting for you, anything like that. I think it's super good for like your virtual attendees if you're doing a hybrid event for them to feel like they're participating in that live ask part. I've had a couple of clients do that and it worked out really well.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Beth asked, for text fundraising, do you need to have the text giving platform activated, or is it included in the auction package platform?
Sure, I'll take that one, Justin. So the outbid notifications are included in the auction package, but if you want to send any outbound text notifications or use that live screencast that we talked about, which is the incoming text to donate feature, you will need that text fundraising package.
Great. Maureen asked, how do you switch between events in the Givey app? And she was referring to the virtual terminal app, but Heidi, do you want to go ahead and give the overview for both the donor-facing app and the backend?
Sure. For the donor-facing app, they'll be able to see which events they're currently registered for. So if they're registered for multiple auctions with different organizations, once they're logged in, they'll have a little events tab at the bottom that they can switch back and forth. On the mobile virtual terminal app, there's 3 dashes in the upper left-hand corner that you can click on, and you can go down and there's a My Forms section. So depending on which event that form's on, but you can switch from your forms pretty easily.
Great. And I think those were all the questions that we had. So if anybody has any further questions, feel free to email us and let us know what you want to know. And as for that, thank you so much for attending our webinar today.
Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate your time.